Good evening. Today's little exploration is going to be quite different. Here we are in the Salt Lake City Cemetery. I'm just going to take you to two famous graves here. I'll go into it in a little bit about the local legends and whatnot, but I'm probably going to get it wrong, so I'll just briefly mention them. But anyway, thank you for joining me in this spooky little evening. And there she is, Lily E. Gray. Born June 6, 1881, died November 14th, 1958. You can see there, victim of the beast, 666. Now, they're not sure why her husband, who ultimately buried her here, put that on her grave. There's a lot of speculation. I won't go into it because you'll find more than I can tell you right now, and then people will get angry in the comments. So I'll just let you research that. But one of the popular theories is that her husband was just pissed off at the government, and this was kind of a way for him to protest. And then of course other people think, supernatural things, like he was a devil worshiper, or she was, all that stuff. And I don't really believe any of that. I think it's cool and the story's great, and obviously the story's good enough for me to come out here and visit this grave all the time. But I'll let you be the judge. You can do your own research. You see, people still come here all the time and leave her all kinds of things. And I like that little ghost right there, clearly from Halloween. So there she is, the mark of the beast. There's really only one other grave I really want to visit tonight. Well, maybe two others. There's one, I'm not sure if I can find it, but just two of the most famous legends here in the Salt Lake City graveyard. But also just kind of wanted to take you on a peaceful walk in the cemetery. People are afraid to go to cemeteries at night when it can be really the most peaceful place to think and reflect on life. Well, I'll admit, I have no idea where I am right now. Also, I'm not sure how good this camera is in low light, so a lot of this footage might be garbage. But having the flashlight on all the time just kind of ruins the peace for me. Walking around in a cemetery at night just talking to yourself. It's like trying to be quiet, like I'm gonna disturb somebody, but they're all dead, they don't care. Oh man. Anyway, just kind of a silly comment, a moment of reflection there. Like, who the hell am I gonna wake up? I'm not looking for a famous grave. In fact, as far as I know, no one even cares about this grave except me. It's this grave of this little child that I just found crammed on the side of the hill. Like, the hill's almost engulfing the grave, next to no other graves, if I remember correctly. And I just wonder what the story of that child was. I don't know, it's just really curious to me and really sad to me that she seems to have been forgotten. Well, even if I don't find this grave, which I know I will, I'm not going to leave it until I do, but dang, it's cool being here at night. Well, after wandering around for far too long and honestly just kind of zoning out and enjoying the peace and quiet, I stumbled upon the grave I was looking for. There she is, good old Mabel. And let's see here. She's getting devoured here. Born on July 18th, 1903. Died on September 6th. I think that says 1903. Kind of hard to tell, but as you can see, her grave is just getting overgrown and forgotten. She's just being devoured. And I don't know, I found this one day walking and just kind of sat down by her for a while, and just made me feel sad and made me wonder what life she could have had. So you wonder who her parents and her family were. There's no legend behind this grave as far as I know, but this one really stuck out to me to the point where I found it years ago, and I'll just randomly think about little Mabel here. Maybe someday I'll write a story about her, but give her a life she never had, and at least in the literary form, but who knows? We'll let you rest, Miss Mabel. It takes us to our final stop of the evening, to the mausoleum, grave of Jacob Moritz. Now, the legend behind this one is that back in the day, right there, that used to be a window, and you could actually look at his remains. So people would walk around it 3 times chanting emo, 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 or emu, emu, emu. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember the legend. But anyway, they'd walk around it 3 times, and then looking at his remains, they'd stare inside, and then his eyes would glow. Now, because so many people were coming here and trying that to see if it would work, they eventually had to, we'll get closer, basically plate that window over to stop people from coming here and doing that and harassing his remains. Why his eyes would glow after you did that, I don't know. You know, I don't know the supernatural reason behind it, but I believe that he was a brewer here, and he actually died in Germany, and then they moved his remains back over to here. Maybe moving him over here is what caused that, or what, that's what people who believe in the supernatural believe caused it. But either way, I think it's a really, really cool story, and just kind of a great way to end our mini nighttime Salt Lake City walking tour. But I guess we should walk around it 3 times, huh? Emo. Emo. Now, if only we could see inside. Maybe we'd get lucky and he'd be glowing at us, looking at us rather. Sleep well, buddy. Before I conclude tonight's little adventure, just want to know that inspiration of this evening was the death of Adam the Woo. It's a weird thing to grieve for someone you don't really know, but you feel like you know them because of their videos. And he inspired me to do my own videos and photography and just exploration and writing too. Just a reminder that goals are possible, your dreams are possible. You just kind of got to try and push for them. And I started watching him when I was a kid, when he first started his videos, and inspired me to get out and do weird stuff like this. I don't know, maybe some of you watching were fans of his too. Well, thank you for joining me once again. A very strange adventure this time. And I appreciate anybody who watches these and anyone who supports any of my work. And we circled back to Moritz, and